Hey guys, it's your boy MKS here. Hope everyone's well wherever you are. Apologies to any of my regular viewers, like I have regular viewers, but anyone who might watch my videos for my information or other stuff or politics or whatever who don't like football. This is another one of my football videos, but I hope people will watch it and support my videos generally or my channel generally. And I think Celtic, one of the reasons why I love Celtic is they do a lot of work for charity. But for those who don't know, the P.I.F stands for the Public Investment Fund, which is a Saudi Arabian, arguably state-led corporation, if you like, or company or whatever. Well, corporation, I suppose. Whatever the difference is. In my naive mind, I wouldn't know. Anyway, they who many argue is owned by the Saudi state, but they claim not to be for some reason. But anyway, yeah, so it's all political. But they recently bought Newcastle United Football Club. Again, for those who don't know football, apologies. But yeah, so obviously people who know football will be like, oh, you know this. But anyway, NUFC, Newcastle United Football Club, they bought shares in them. But apparently they're thinking of buying shares in other clubs or owning or co-owning other clubs, such as hopefully Inter Milan. As a fan of Italian football, I would love for them to own Inter Milan. There's been a rumor for a while that they're going to own Inter Milan, and I'm hoping they do. I think I'll have a celebratory drink if and when they do. So I would drink to that thought. But yeah, apparently they're going to buy Inter Milan for 1 billion. So this company is a huge company. Like, again, sorry for those who already know this sort of stuff, but apparently they are worth 300 something billion or whatever, 350 billion or something, and they're hoping to grow to become a $1 trillion company. So but yeah, so I hope they buy Inter Milan, and I thought it'd be quite interesting if, using my dyslexic imagination perhaps, or my dream-like imagination or whatever, dream-driven imagination, I thought it'd be quite interesting if they bought shares in or invest in Celtic, like invest in the youth academy, marketing and branding, or whatever costs a club has, like buying players or things like that. I thought it'd be quite interesting, especially because Celtic's in the Scottish League, which is nowhere near as well off as other leagues like the EPL, the English Premier League, their neighbours, or even as someone from England myself, but even other leagues like the Spanish League, La Liga, or Bundesliga in Germany, or even Serie A, as I say, as a fan of Italian football as well. So they're quite Celtic. We I'll say as a fan are in quite a lower league, a lower level league. So I think it'd be quite interesting to see if we had all this money, like if Celtic had billions of pounds to invest in a league where the average player is probably £2 or £3 million, which is quite laughable compared to when you think about it, is a lot of money. But in football nowadays, it's not really a lot of money in European leagues, and I'm sure America and other leagues like that, in China and India, as they get more into football or soccer or whatever you want to call it, they will be investing loads of money. But sometimes there's a player alone who costs like 100 million. So I think it'd be quite interesting if Celtic could attract players who, if Celtic had this much money, like hundreds of millions or billions. So I'd love to hear what other people think about that imagination. I don't imagine any Rangers fans would watch my videos, but if they did, I wonder what they would say. I imagine obviously it wouldn't be too positive, but I think it'd be quite interesting, I'll say, if a team like Celtic in quite a low level league, as I say, got billions of pounds, like wealthy owners and sponsors, and the P.I.F included, possibly even others as well, owning like shares in the. I don't know how many shares they would want to own or what equity they would want to own in quite a low league, to be honest. But I think it would be quite interesting to say, like, if Celtic could afford players, if Celtic had billions of pounds, I think it would be interesting. Some people on YouTube do these experiments on like FIFA, where they imagine a team having like £1 billion. I know one or two channels have done like Celtic £1 billion takeover challenge, and they've looked at what it would be like if Celtic, they did this sort of strange sort of challenge where they had to buy certain players or whatever. It's hard to explain, but if you type in Celtic £1 billion challenge or whatever, you'll probably see it. But yeah, so excuse me, I think it'd be quite interesting to see what if Celtic had, as I say, hundreds of millions or even billions of pounds invested into us, where the average player in the league is like 2 or 3 million. Like, we could attract players. I'm sure we wouldn't be able to attract players like Man City or Newcastle or other EPL, English Premier League teams can attract, but we would still be able to attract for the level for Scottish football. I think it'd be quite interesting to see how it would go. So part of me thought for a bit of fun, I'd make this video to talk about, like I say, how my imagination, as I say, sorry to repeat myself, but yeah, if Celtic FC had like a billion or even more pounds invested into us, like how that would work in, as I say, the SPL, the Scottish League, and but some of the money could be spent on like the foundation and the work it does overseas, hopefully, and also in Glasgow, where there's a lot of deprivation, like how it could improve the lives of people in Glasgow and around the world, including Scotland as well, which has some problems for a developed country. It has quite a lot of problems compared to, like, say, England, its neighbour. But yeah, so it'd be interesting, I say, if they invest in local area, cut crime and things like that. But also, apparently, that's what the owners of Man City have done for their local area. So I think it'd be interesting to see wealthy people from the Middle East, possibly even maybe a few different companies owning shares in Celtic. Maybe even Man City could. The Man City owners, sorry, could perhaps buy shares in, but although they do seem to be rivals, the Qataris and the Saudis, but maybe they could be encouraged to put their differences aside, and like Arabs generally work together more and invest in each other and support each other more and own shares in Celtic. So I thought I'd share that, as I say, that imagination, that dream, and I'd love to hear what you think, especially football fans and in particular Celtic fans or people who have a soft spot for Celtic. Yeah, do you think it's like a pipe dream, or do you think it would be interesting to see what would happen if Celtic had a billion? Maybe people can make YouTube videos as well, like a bit more organised than me, who talk about like what you would do if Celtic had like £1 billion. How would you reinvest it? I think like 10% should be going into, like, if we got any money, like, or even just generally what money could go into the club, like 10% could go into buying better players or more players. It could go into like wages and things like that, and 10% could go towards like youth development as well. So we develop good players for the future, and then marketing and branding and things like that, and other costs that a club has. And then I think also like 10% could go to the foundation, and then like the remaining 60 or so percent, 60 or 70% could go towards like shareholders, because obviously they're going to want returns of their investment. But obviously, the better the club does, the more returns they'll get. So anyway, I hope I didn't waffle too much. I know I have some really out there ideas. Like I wonder if Celtic could have like some specific bank account where the money that goes in there is specifically reinvested, I'd say, in the way I just talked about, like 10% into buying better players, 10% in the youth teams, 10% in marketing and branding and improving the club for the future, and whatever other costs a football club has, and then 10% go to the foundation, again, either in both in Glasgow and then also overseas, like in parts of Africa and Asia. And Celtic could do more to like help African technology or Asian entrepreneurs and things like that. So again, I'd love to hear how you would reinvest money if we got that kind of money, how much you would put into the foundation if you're a Celtic fan, and how much you would put into like buying players, developing possibly even young Scottish players or academy players all around the world, or how we could develop supporters clubs and academies around the world, and what sort of causes you would support, or what sort of causes you think the club should support, or what you think the club should stand for, again, if you're a Celtic fan, and whether you think that idea about having a bank account specifically for Celtic is a naive idea, or whether you think it could work, or is an interesting idea, or even maybe even, dare I say, maybe an excellent idea perhaps. I think it's either really a daft idea or really an excellent idea. And also, like, do you think fans should put money into the club if they knew it was reinvested into players? How much would you be prepared to put of your own money into the club if you knew that that was going to be reinvested in the academies and buying overseas players and stroke all the foundation or things like that? And again, how you think the club should invest money going into the future. And also, yeah, if there was like crowdfunding and GoFundMe's. I know I shared that idea before and I got slagged, as I would say in Scotland, for sharing that idea, but I'd love to hear what you think about that idea. Again, do you think it's a naive idea? Both the idea about a specific bank account and also the GoFundMe idea. I'd love to hear what you think about those ideas. I hope you won't be too harsh. And also, do you think the P.I.F would ever be interested in buying Celtic? And do you think there's some sort of way Celtic could be an attractive investment destination for P.I.F? Anyway, as ever, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'm out. Peace and love.